In this video, let us discuss the emergency provision, that is Article 352 to 360 of Indian Constitution. Before entering into emergency provisions, let us discuss what an emergency is in simpler terms. Emergency provision in the Constitution is to safeguard the sovereignty, unity, integrity and security of the country. During emergency, the central government becomes powerful and becomes unitary in nature, which means that state comes under the control of the central government. Thus, central government becomes unitary in nature when emergency is announced. In this context, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar observed that Indian Constitution can be both unitary and federal in nature according to the situation. In normal times, the Constitution works as federal system, and in emergency times the Constitution made to work as a unitary nature. That is, all powers are within the central government. The Constitution provides for three types of emergency provisions: Article 352 National Emergency, Article 356 State Emergency or President's Rule, Article 360 Financial Emergency. Let us discuss each one of them in detail. First, we can see what is an national emergency is. Under Article 352 of Indian Constitution, the President of India can declare a national emergency on the grounds of war, external aggression or armed rebellion. If the President is satisfied if the situation has arisen, he can declare national emergency. Before 44th Constitution Amendment Act of 1978, the emergency was declared on the grounds like internal disturbance or external aggression. After the Constitution Amendment Act, the word armed rebellion was substituted for internal disturbance. The word internal disturbance is very important in the context of Indian political history because emergency was proclaimed in 1975 for internal disturbance by Congress government headed by Indira Gandhi. In 1975, national emergency was proclaimed for internal disturbance by President, advised by then Prime Minister Mrs. Gandhi without consulting her cabinet, which led to serious implication on the rights, liberty and individual freedom. So after 44th Constitution Amendment Act of 1978, it made a whole lot of changes to emergency provisions, like emergency should be declared on the ground of war, external aggression and armed rebellion, substituted for internal disturbance. The President can proclaim a national emergency only on the advice of Cabinet of Ministers and cannot proclaim a national emergency only on advice of Prime Minister. The emergency can be proclaimed to entire country or a specific part of a country if the President is satisfied if the situation has arisen. The emergency is under judicial review of the court and can be challenged in the court if it is nullified, wholly extraneous and made up of irrelevant facts. Parliamentary approval, revocation and duration. The proclamation of national emergency by President should be approved by both houses of Parliament by a special majority by not less than 2/3 of members of House present and voting within a month. After approval by both houses of Parliament, emergency continues for 6 months. After 6 months, the Parliament approval is required. If approved, the emergency continues as long as the Cabinet, that is executive, desires. That is, national emergency can continue for long as the Cabinet wants, but with every 6 months approval. When can emergency can be revoked? President can revoke emergency if the Lok Sabha passes a resolution with simple majority on revoking it. Effects of national emergency on center-state relations, Lok Sabha and State Assembly, fundamental rights. Center-state relations. During national emergency, the state government are brought under the complete control of central, though they are not suspended. The Parliament can make laws on any subject mentioned in state list. The laws made during emergency on state subjects becomes inoperative in 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. Lok Sabha and State Legislative Assembly can be extended beyond the 5-year term by a law of Parliament for 1 year at a time for any length of a time. Example, Lok Sabha 1971 to 1977 was extended 2 times by 1 year at a time, subject to maximum period of 6 months after the emergency has ceased to operate. Effects on fundamental rights. During national emergency, Article 19, that is right to freedom, is automatically suspended, and it can be done when the emergency is declared on the grounds of war or external aggression, but not on armed rebellion, under Article 358 of Indian Constitution. Under Article 359 of Indian Constitution, except for Article 20 and 21, it deals with suspensions of all other fundamental right on the grounds both on war or external aggression and armed rebellion. To sum it all, Article 19 gets automatically suspended except Article 20 and 21. All other fundamental rights can be suspended during emergency. Emergency declared so far 1962 and 1971 due to external aggression, that is war. 1975 due to internal disturbance.